Saints. My name is Marianne Ushi.
Hi Saints, my name is Jeffrey.
I am Marianne Auta.
I am Bivan Tessie.
Be honest. How many of you have checked your horoscope just for fun? Or you've heard someone say, I can't date a Virgo, or that's such a Scorpio thing to do? Zodiac signs and horoscopes have become such a huge part of pop culture. But the question now is, as Christians, as Catholics, should we take part in them? Hi Saints, my name is Jeffrey and this is Catholic Faith Forum. Yes guys, today is not Know Your Faith. This is Catholic Faith Forum, a show where we discuss everything around faith, morals, and pop culture. And today on the show, we're asking the question, should Christians take part in horoscopes and zodiac signs? Here with me in the studio, I have a very interesting guest. Don't worry, when you guys see the person, people will just laugh. All of us will just laugh together. It's going to be a very, very fun episode. I'm not going to lie, but you have to wait small. Go and bring that chivita in your fridge and that cup and relax. Take a chill pill and wait, because we'll be going on a short break. And when we're back, we'll dive straight into the conversation. Stay with us. Welcome back, Saints. Just before the break, I mentioned that today we are asking the questions, should Christians take part in zodiac signs and horoscopes? What do you think? Well, I'll get your opinion last. We'll drop it in the comment section for now. All right, as I mentioned before the break, I have a very interesting guest here with me in the studio. You guys will not believe who I brought. No, I did not bring Eminem here. I did not bring any of your favorite artists. I brought my brother to the studio, guys. Here with me is Kenechukwu Kirian Obinwa. Hi, Ken. I'm going to call him Kene on the show, just so you guys know. Hi, Kene. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. I'm happy to be on the show.
Why are you seeming serious? All right, guys.
Okay, so for the purposes of this show, I'll just call you Oli.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go.
Active. Now everybody knows my name is Oli. All right, anyhow, let's go. So, Kene is a consultant who is focused on energy. He's a very big Chelsea fan. Yes, it's somewhat of a family thing. He's a Chelsea fan, so you should know. And any other interesting thing they should know about you? Genuinely introduce yourself. Why did I introduce you?
Exactly. I was surprised. I was hoping you were going to call me. So, yes, my name is Kene. I'm a consultant, focused mainly on energy. And, I'm a lifelong Chelsea fan. I was at the Stamford Bridge recently, and we won that game, which was, one of the very few games that we've actually won this season. So sadness that has been taking over me like for months now, at least it was all worth it. I think we ended up beating the team something around 8-0. So it was quite an experience.
I think it's nice to have a Chelsea fan on set. Recently, we've been having a lot of Arsenal fans.
I don't know how you're dealing. I do not know how you're dealing.
I've tried.
I personally would have chased them out of the studio.
I've tried. I don't know. They're just very somehow people. All right, let's dive into the main conversation. I think the guys' episode is going to be fun. So, down to horoscopes and zodiac signs. So let's start with the basics. What are horoscopes and zodiac signs? Like a definition kind of thing.
Yes. So I'd call it more like a belief system. So horoscopes and zodiac signs as a concept is a belief system where, you're convinced that the movement of celestial bodies are somehow linked to your behavior and, how you interact with other people and what makes you you. So it's essentially saying that because some bodies in space have moved and aligned based on your date of birth, you're expected to behave a certain way, and it's almost out of your control. So that's the way it generally works.
So why do you think people are like really keen on it? What do you think interests people about?
Yes, it's a very interesting question because I like to think about and analyze human behavior just as a hobby, and I think believing in horoscopes, is generally almost linked to our belief as Christians. And I know it's a controversial point, and I'll explain it in. Cool.
Yes,
I'll explain it in a minute. So people turn to horoscopes to explain what they do not understand. Almost the same way people turn to religion to explain the world is complex, human behavior is complex. And so people tend to turn, to supernatural things, to, in quotes, celestial things, to explain things that they do not understand. Now, it's a question of, are you turning to God? Are you turning to the right source to explain these complexities? Or are you turning to a man-made source? So that's how to think about it.
Wisdom everywhere.
I expected somebody to say deep or something like that because I just dropped some nuggets.
Somebody in their house just said deep.
Yes.
I heard it. Now you know me, I am sharp.
Don't mention.
We don't do that here. All right, so next. So many people believe their zodiac sign defines their personality and decisions. Does this take away from the idea of free will and trusting in God's plan?
Yes, it 100% takes away the idea of trusting in God's plan. Because the way this typically works is we know that God has granted us free will. And if we believe this as Christians, then believing again that because some stars aligned sometime in 2002, that's the reason why you and Marianne are no longer friends. Because you are not compatible. Don't worry, that's never going to happen. It's just an example. Okay. So saying because a couple of celestial bodies aligned in 2002, that's why you're not compatible with Marianne, you can't be friends. That takes away God's fundamental push for free will, and quite frankly, absolves you of any responsibility and, taking ownership of your decisions as a human being, thinking about the way God has structured us to actually live. So that's how I think about it.
I think of the free will like a number 10 free roll in football.
Yes, actually, yes.
There's a room about.
Yes. This is how to think about free will. Very interesting analogy there for football fans out there. So thinking about horoscopes is almost like saying, or using horoscopes to replace free will is like saying, the coach has told you to go and stick to one wing, and that's where you're supposed to be, even though they are hammering you guys in your own box and they're about to score you. You stay in that position because why? The coach has told you that that's where you're supposed to be. But that's not actually the way it works in real life, right? The coach, who in this case, the analogy is God, he has put you into that field to go and express yourself and choose between what's good and evil. Interact with human beings, how you feel, that should be done. So if you choose to remain on the wing, you cannot blame that on God. And you're no longer exercising the free will. He has given you the Palmer rule. Go and you understand. So if you restrict everything that happens to your behavior and you're like, oh, I couldn't control this because of my zodiac sign, it's something to watch out for and something to really look at.
Right, so a lot of people use zodiac signs to determine compatibility in relationships. I would like your opinion on that, but before I give your opinion, let's quickly go on a break and find out who the saint of the week is.
Our saint of the week is the apostle of the Sacred and Immaculate Hearts. I'm talking about Saint John Eudes. Saint John Eudes was born on November 14, 1601 in Normandy, France. From a young age, he showed deep devotion to God and a strong desire to serve others. At 22, he joined the congregation of the Oratory, a religious community focused on preaching and education. As a priest, he became known for his powerful sermons and tireless work among the poor and the sick, especially during outbreaks of the plague. However, John believed that true reform in the church had to begin with holy and well-trained priests. True. Seeing the need for better reformation, he founded the Congregation of Jesus and Mary, that's the Eudists, in 1643, dedicated to educating and spiritually guiding priests. He also had a special mission to help women who had been caught in lives of sin, providing them with shelter and a path to redemption. To support this, he founded the Sisters of Our Lady of Charity, which later inspired the work of Saint Mary Euphrasia Pelletier, founder of the Good Shepherd Sisters. One of the most extraordinary contributions of Saint John Eudes was his deep devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary. At a time when these devotions were not yet widely practiced, he tirelessly preached about God's great love and mercy, calling people to a deeper, more personal relationship with Christ. He even wrote the first Mass and Office for the Sacred Heart of Jesus years before the devotion was officially recognized by the Church. St. John continued preaching missions throughout France, bringing thousands of people back to God. He died on August 19, 1680, and was canonized by Pope Pius XI in 1925. Today, he is honored as the patron saint of priests, missionaries, and those devoted to the Sacred and Immaculate Hearts. His feast day is celebrated on August 19. Some lessons to learn from him are: 1. True change begins with good leadership. 2. No one is beyond redemption, as God's love is for everyone. And 3. Be bold in your faith and live for others, not just for yourself. Stop being selfish. St. John reminds us that true holiness is not just about personal piety, but about bringing God's love into the world through action, not just words. And so we say, St. John Eudes, pray for us.
Welcome back, Saints. If you're just joining us on today's episode of Catholic Faith Forum, we are asking the question, should Christians, Catholics, believers take part in zodiac signs and horoscopes? And I genuinely hope that you really learned a lot from the life of that saint. So now back to our conversation. I asked a very interesting question, right? And this one centers around relationships, right? Compatibility. So I said that a lot of people use zodiac signs to determine compatibility in relationships. Now, do you think this is a reliable approach, or does this go against Christian values of love and commitment?
Yes. So I 100% again believe that it goes against Christian values. And I know I'm taking like a polar side to this topic, but I'll explain why in a minute.
All right.
So there's something called the Barnum effect, and to explain it, it's essentially when you try to, you give generic descriptions to people's lives. You don't tell them that that description is generic. You kind of make them believe that it's personified, and they end up believing that that description is true to them. So an example would be, you've gone ahead, and I'll link this a little to personality tests, which I generally believe in, but for different reasons. But an example would be, you've gone ahead to look at your horoscope, or, whatever it is you look at, and then it tells you something like, you're generally a confident person, but you can lose your confidence when something happens, or you're generally extroverted, but sometimes you like to remain alone. But the truth is that can apply to anybody, a bunch of different people. But because they've taken a test that makes them feel like this is tailored to my life, they then believe it and then subsequently believe fully in horoscopes. So I think generally, these tests, these horoscopes, give us a sense of false precision about our lives. And then people then allow it to affect their relationships and so on and so forth. And I do not think that is, I think again it negates the whole concept of free will. I think if you think because you're a Virgo and I'm Pisces, it means we can't be together, we can't end up getting married and things like that, I think you're forgoing God's whole concept of love, the whole concept of faith and belief in God's providence. Because now you're believing in the providence of celestial I can't even call them beings because they're not alive. So celestial events, stars aligning, you're believing in those things and letting it affect your relationship. And I do not generally think that is right. I think as a Christian, believe in God's love and, believe in free will. That's the way I think about it.
Good. So now let's talk. I don't think you're not on TikTok now. Are you on TikTok?
Sometimes I dabble into I dabble into TikTok sometimes.
Download sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right, but all over social media, there are trends with zodiac signs, videos, design stuff. How do you think Christians should engage, or do you think Christians should engage this? How do you think Christians should go about these trends?
Yeah. So I think some people engage in it for fun. But the real test will be, where do you draw the line between fun and what is real? So it's okay for you to, in my opinion at least, it's okay for you to dabble into things like this through the lens of, you're just purely having fun. You want to talk about it with your friends and just like, have fun around the whole topic. That's completely fine. I think Christians should draw the line when they start to make decisions based on what their star sign is, and based on horoscope messages and things. Again, if tomorrow you say you're not going to talk to Marianne again because you're Virgo and she's Pisces, or you don't think you guys can be friends, then I think something, we need to ask some questions of you. And if Marianne too, if she agrees to something like that. So
but let's move forward. All right. So the Catechism of the Catholic Church, right, in paragraph 2116, warns against astrology and superstition, where it condemns all forms of divination. So why do you think the church is like strongly against this?
Yes, because I think the church is strongly against this because it directly negates the concept of free will.
Again, back to the Palmer rule, guys.
Exactly. God kept you in that field for you to have a free will. You choose between good and evil every day of your life. And all these things, they culminate, into who you are as a person. So thinking about, some celestial events as the reason why you're behaving a certain way, in my mind, it's almost lack of discipline as a Christian, because we should be able to take ownership of what we've done, and we should be able to take ownership of who we are. So the moment we start to think, that we're like this because of something else and not exact problem tiwa, very serious problems.
Yeah. So now, for someone who is basically like dabbling into this, right? How can the person find their identity in Christ? How can the person go back to know that, okay, my identity is found in Christ and not just in horoscopes? But before you answer that question, guys, it's my favorite time of the show. It's time for the Know Your Faith session. Stay with us.
And welcome to Know Your Faith series. I am Amaka Ozo. Amaka we no dey disappoint. And on today's episode of Know Your Faith, I'm not about to let you down. Looking for inspiring movies that deepen your faith? Here are 5 must-see Christian movies. I always have gist. The first is The Passion of Christ, 2004. Gang gang. It is a powerful portrayal of Jesus' final hours. This movie deeply impacts viewers with the raw depiction of Christ's sacrifice. Now, the blood, the pain, the actual betrayal. Just name it. You should appreciate Jesus' sacrificial death more. 2. War Room, 2015. Room where we go dey rugged am. The movie encourages everyone to find a place to speak to God. It's a compelling story about the power of prayer in transforming our daily lives and relationships, in turning things around. You will discover prayer as a battleground and room for life-changing encounter. 3. Heaven is for Real. Based on a true story, it explores a young boy's near-death experience and vision of heaven. 4. God is Not Dead, 2014. God is not dead, surely alive. My God is not dead, surely alive. My God is not dead, he's surely alive. It closes the gap of doubt, challenges and answers the question, why God is not dead. This movie explores faith in an academic setting, challenging viewers to stand firm in their beliefs. In this movie, you will find more reasons to believe in God and choose God. Our final movie is a multi-season series. It is a season sensation of the moment. It is none other than The Chosen. The Chosen TV series 2017 till date. This has it all. Modern day TV series in our age, explaining the gospel, filling in the gaps. It is a beautifully crafted series that gives a fresh, relatable look at the life of Jesus and his disciples. You would understand what was written in the Gospels. These movies, no matter how old they are, offer entertainment and a deep reflection on faith, making them the best choices for your next movie night. You know where you heard it first. Amaka also told you on Know Your Faith series, this is my early birthday gift to you. That's all for today. Subscribe to Dominican Media. Share this video to your friends. Be like Jesus. Share the gospel. Encourage them to comment and share as well. My name is Amaka Ozo, and until next time, be bold, be Catholic.
Welcome back, Saints. Thank you to my one and only loves on this show. I don't like all those other CFF. Don't tell them, Sha. But thank you very much, KYF team, for that amazing session on faith. Back to our discussion.
Yes.
So, as I was saying, how can a Christian rediscover or basically believe that their identity is actually found in Christ? It's not in stars aligning or in some celestial things.
Yes. So I think we need to think about it again from the reason why people believe in horoscopes. And it's for the search of something bigger, search of some explanation. So the question we should actually ask ourselves is, how can we find the answers to what we're searching for? And in my mind, the first thing that comes is prayer. The first thing that comes is prayer. Yeah, don't. So, so prayer is communication with God. Prayer is getting answers to things that bother you, to things that plague you, to things that confuse you. Prayer is finding meaning in a world that doesn't make sense. I can't make it make sense to you. Nobody can make it make sense to you. Only God can make it make sense to you. So this just means anytime you're confused, you have one of these deep philosophical conundrums, just go on your knees and pray. You can also find comfort from things like the word and other things like that, getting counseling sessions and things like that. Whenever you don't understand the meaning of life anymore. But I always just find that the best approach is to talk to him. Talk to him. The world is confusing you. Talk to him first. Talk to him first.
And that way we can gain or we can rediscover that our identity is in Christ when we have that one-on-one conversation.
Yes. Yes, because you're searching to believe in something. Why not believe in the source? Or why not talk to him?
Why not, guys? Why not? Deep. Another person just
a question for you. Yeah, they said it. I felt it this time around. I felt it this time around.
You're guessing there. All right, so a lot of people believe in horoscopes, right? And we have them all around us. So how do we talk to, or rather convince family members, friends, that this shouldn't be the way to go? There is a higher being, source is God. How do we do that?
Yes, no, I think this is a very important question because...
Now me the ask him, don't worry. You don't worry about that.
Okay. I should have known.
You should have known.
I don't know. Apologies. So I think this question is actually critical for one main reason, which is delivery. And what do I mean by delivery? The fact that something is wrong, the fact that something may not be the best way to go, does not mean you should berate people for it.
Okay.
So this actually reflects on us as Christians. I'm a very big fan. I'm a very big. Is this how he cracks jokes for you people on this show?
This is how I do.
Is this how he always cracks
I'm very
jokes?
familiar with it.
So I was saying I'm a big fan of approaching people with kindness, approaching people with love, and this applies to Christianity in general. It's like, because you're someone who prays a lot, because you're a Catholic who observes everything that needs to be observed, does not mean that you should berate another person who is not doing it the way you like. I think, and Reverend Fathers actually preach about this all the time. There's need, and today again, there was, the gospel today was actually speaking to this point again. There's need for us to humble ourselves, accept the fact that we ourselves are not perfect, and not berate people who have different beliefs than us. Yes, we know that these beliefs are less than optimal, but the right way to go about it would be to first acknowledge the fact that they have this belief, and then have an open discussion about it. You should be armed. Open discussion, because you should be armed as a Christian. You should have your points, on why you think this is not the Christian thing to do. And then, have that open discussion, present your points in a very logical way, and get them to see reason. Laughing at them for believing in horoscopes is not going to be the way to go. Berating them and making them feel small because you think you're intellectually now superior because you don't believe in horoscopes is also not the way to go. So I think praying to God for that humility to approach, because it's going to be very tempting to be condescending, to say, oh no, how can you believe in this and all of that? But pausing and letting God fill you with humility before you engage in that conversation is the way to go.
All right.
Yeah. I heard another deep
They are saying
from the audience. So
they are there. They are with you.
Don't mention.
Suicide the cook for hours. Damn.
He enjoys it. Don't mind him. Yeah, I hope in his life.
Thanks, allow. All right. Awesome conversation thus far. Learned a whole lot that horoscopes are not. They're not the real way, right? There's a higher source. There's God, and people often go to horoscope because people often seek validation, I think, from this or explanations from these zodiac signs, right? But we have God and we have Christ.
Yeah, and maybe just think about the Barnum effect. The next time someone presents you with a general horoscope tip, whatever thing that they've sent to you, you're typically kind, but sometimes you get upset. It applies to so many people.
Somebody just saw me one day, and then he just said, I think I used Sagittarius. No, he asked me when it was my birthday. I told him December, and he said something like, I knew it, that you act like a Sagittarius. I'm thinking, what? I don't even know what that is, man.
Did he give you an explanation of why he said that?
He said something like, well, don't worry, I just see it or something.
Yeah,
like
it's generic explanations that you don't think it's personal. It's the Barnum effect. Read more about the Barnum effect, guys, and you would understand what I'm saying.
All right, again, awesome episode. Too short. Too solid, guys. No, relax now. All right, that's it, guys. We come to the end of the show. Please do well to share this video, like, subscribe. I'm sure you laughed. You want other people to laugh too, so share the video. Hit that notification bell if you've not hit it. I don't know why. Don't you want to get content like this? Follow us on X and Instagram at CFF on TV. You can find me on Instagram at _I am Jeffrey and on X as I am Jeffrey14. Do you want to tell them your hand?
No.
Yeah, no.
I'm not big on social media.
Yeah, no, only low. So that's it for today's Saints. Till next time,
Keep being saints in jeans and shirts.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Player. We're going to cut that out of the show. We must cut it out of the show. so I was saying.